What's going on YouTube? JamieTheKid00 here, and welcome back to the third and final game of the Prophecy Mirror Match. I'm going to be starting this one off with a very exciting turn. I believe in this game both of us draw not optimal hands, for especially seeing as the win condition of the deck is a Priestess. So I'm going to draw my hand of 6 and immediately pass to my opponent. Because, let's face it, it wasn't the best starting hand. It's more of an aggressive second turn hand. So he's going to attempt to summon a Spellbook Magician and use its effect, and I'm going to respond with Effect Veiler. And he's going to consider how his turn's going to play out, think about whether he's got a set and protect anything with it. There's quite a lot of thinking in this game, which is a problem for me because I don't have the initiative to talk over big thinking periods. So he's going to consider his options. As you can see in my hand there, I'm getting quite impatient, and he passes his turn to me. So I'm going to draw into a Strength and summon the other one that I've been holding from turn 1. And I'm going to do the good old sneak peek combo of powering the Strength, and then using the Strength's ability to return the power to the deck, putting it on an easy 3k, and I'm then going to proceed to, of course, punch over the Spellbook Magician, because he hasn't set Threatening Roar or anything like that. So I'm going to swing over his Magician, and use the effect of the power that was sent to grave to search a Spellbook of Secrets, which I magically cut to there, because I'm just that skilled. I'm then going to set one card, which was the Wisdom in hand, to try and keep it protected from things like Dark Hole, or any other cards that he may be maining, like Soul Taker. And I'm then going to pass play back to James. James is then going to draw for his turn, activate a copy of Spellbook of Secrets, and I believe search his deck for one copy of Spellbook of Power to try and get over my powered up Strength. So he's going to summon Temperance, tribute the Temperance, to grab himself a copy of High Priestess of Prophecy from the deck. Now at this point I misplayed slightly because I remember that I had an Effect Veiler in hand, and I forgot to Veiler on the summon, which was a mistake. So he tries to use Priestess's effect on my Wisdom. I chained the Wisdom to the Priestess because he added a copy of Power to hand, so I want to stop him trying to power the Priestess to attack over my monster and get himself pluses. So he's then going to be a smart ass and Dark Hole the board while the Priestess is protected from spells, so he can get himself a free shot direct. And he's then going to pass turn to me. So I draw for the turn, activate the copy of Secrets that I added last turn, and search out a copy of Spellbook of Power, because as you remember I still have a copy of Strength of Prophecy in hand, so this should be enough to kill over his Priestess, with a bit of luck. So I'm going to add the power to hand, summon the Strength, then activate, of course, the Spellbook of Power. Then I'm going to attempt to use Strength's effect, and he's going to respond with Effect Veiler, so that my Strength remains on 2500, and I'm not able to punch over the Priestess. So it means that at least I'm going to have to crash, which I do. I crash the two together, and then get at least a 1-for-1 by searching off the power. So I'm going to search out a copy of, I believe, Spellbook of Secrets? No, I search out Spellbook Tower, which I accidentally throw off the table. So I guess a copy of Spellbook Tower, because my opponent hasn't been drawing into any, and he hasn't searched any with his own copy of Secrets yet, so I make a read that it's probably safe to actually make this play, because as you've seen in earlier games, I've grabbed it, played it, and he's just dropped one straight out of his hand, or searched one and killed it. So I make the read that it's probably safe to make the play, and it does kind of play out to have been correct. So he's going to draw for his turn, summon a Breaker, which I'm going to Veiler because I don't want him to break my tower. He's then going to swing direct for 16, which I'm going to allow. No problems with that. He's then going to review his hand and pass turn back to me. I'm then going to use the effect of Tower to return the Secrets engraved to the bottom of the deck and draw one. So the power of Tower is quite something because of the fact that it allows you to have essentially an extra draw per turn, because you never minus playing the spells, the spellbooks anyway. So I'm going to summon a Temperance and power it to put it up 2k, and it also triggers its effect. So he's live at the moment. So he's going to swing over the Breaker and get me a free search before I inevitably tribute him off for Priestess. So I should be searching out a copy of Spellbook of Secrets at this point, but yeah, I search out a copy of Secrets while my opponent waits and reviews his grave. I make the mistake of shuffling and handing it back to him when I'm just going to activate the Temperance anyway, so there's me wasting time because I can't think ahead to save my life. I'm then going to activate, of course, the Temperance, as I just said. and take the Priestess from the deck. The good old win condition. He's going to shuffle the deck and hand it back. There isn't really that much to say about this, sadly, because Prophecies do make incredibly simple plays. If this was a more aggressive-based matchup, I probably would have a lot more fun commenting on it, but Summon, Priestess, Power isn't exactly the best thing to commentary with. So now that it's main phase 2, I'm going to pass to my opponent, simply because I've done my attack already. There is nothing for me to kill on his board, so I'm just going to pass to him with a 2/5 beater on board. So we've got to remember now that he is sided in and I haven't, because he was the only player with the side deck going into this event. So he's going to drop himself a copy of Puppet Plant from the hand to again gain control of my Priestess. At least he's going to do it eventually. Yeah, he's going to play his copy of Puppet Plant to take control of my Priestess. Then he's going to use the Spellbook of Power on the Priestess, because he needs a Spellbook engraved for its effect, to boost it up to 3,500. And he's going to swing me direct for 3,500, so nigh on half my life. And then he's going to use Priestess's effect by banishing the power to target itself, sending it to my graveyard, because at least it gets off the board. So he passes turn back to me with 1 set back row. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the tower again to draw 1. I'm going to consider my plays and play a copy of Spellbook of Secrets, and I believe I try to search out a copy of Spellbook of Life, because I want to get my Priestess back on the board. Yep, I'm going to search out a copy of Spellbook of Life, and then go through the complicated means of activating it with all of its conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Book of Life by banishing a copy of Temperance, I believe. No, Power, a copy of Strength, because you can see the fire emblem on the corner of the camera, to revive my Priestess. I'm then going to make the dumb move of using Priestess to kill his back row by banishing a copy of Spellbook of Secrets, I believe. At least that's what I'm going to do eventually. And you'll see why that was a bit of a dumb move in just a second. Still reviewing my plays. There's too much thinking in this mirror match. I don't like this mirror match. It is a really strange mirror, because it is two kind of pseudo control decks trying to control one another. It's almost as weird as the Dino Rabbit mirror match, because I find that quite an odd mirror match. So I'm going to use Priestess and banish a copy of Wisdom to target his back row, which turns out to be Safe Zone, which is going to chain to my Priestess. So it's going to kill my Priestess in resolution, which isn't great, but well. I still have a monster in hand that I can summon, I believe. Considering it. So I'm going to summon a Breaker, so at least I can get in a 1900 pitch to his 1 card in hand, which I believe he revealed to me in frustration, which was a Spellbook Magician, because this game hasn't really gone too well for James, sadly. Occasionally, this deck does draw bad. It is 90% of the time it is really, really consistent, but then there are some times when you just don't get your boss monsters and you don't get your good cards, and things do just kind of fall apart. So I'm going to swing for 19, pass back to my opponent, and he's going to set 1 and end. So things aren't exactly going to plan. I'm going to use Tower again to get an extra draw for that turn. I'm going to reveal 4 spellbooks for Priestess, just because I can, as I have the Wisdom in hand. And then I realised that I did misplay and I should have actually used the Breaker on his back row anyway, which is going to chain as the Threatening Roar, so that stops him losing this turn. And that is why I like Threatening Roar in this deck, because it really does just save you from losing. It is the I am not going to lose this turn card. Similar to Fader and Swift Scarecrow, you do just feel an air of comfort with it face down. Sorry, his in-hand card was a Priestess, and this is going to be the part where game is conceded to me after I search out another Book of Life to make the game push, and eventually swing in for game. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this mirror match. I'm probably going to play this deck for locals. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Prophecy content that I come out with, and I'll see you soon with some more. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and I'll see you next time. Bye.